Educational Communications and this station present Environmental Directions with Nancy Pearlman. On this series, we explore the effects of human influence on the Earth's ecosystems and discuss solutions to environmental problems which affect the quality of life on this planet. Environmental Directions gives you the kind of information you need to help you participate in decisions impacting your community, the nation, and the world. Now, here's your host, Nancy Pearlman.
Hello, my guest is Isabel Aagaard. She is co-founder and designer of LastObject. Welcome, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're based in Denmark, and you are very concerned about the need to stop the wasteful use of certain products. You have designed durable and well-designed products that are reusable. Let's begin with one of the first ones that I have been testing out for a couple of years now, and that is called LastSwab. This is where you use the same swab that you would previously use single-use cotton swabs. Why did you consider that so important? Because cotton swabs seem tiny and small and not that wasteful.
Yes, that's a really valid and good question, because I think that a lot of these single-use products that we look at, if that's a coffee cup or a cotton round or a swab, you say, well, it's just one little item, that can't make a huge difference. But when you have something that's a habit, something that you use every day, every week, then this accumulates to so much waste, and it's really unnecessary.
Your products are designed to be reused, but how much non-reusable products like yours are out there creating a massive waste stream?
Yes, it's quite crazy because the numbers are just bigger than you would think. About 11 billion cotton rounds are produced every year. Cotton swabs, it's 550 billion. And if we look at tissues, it's 60 trillion. And this is every year.
These are small products that people don't realize add up in terms of volume and what happens to them when they go into the waste stream, or they might end up in the water stream and into the oceans and the lakes and the rivers and cause harm to our wildlife.
Exactly.
This LastSwab, what is it made out of? Because I know that the container looks like plastic, but is that reused plastic?
Yes. The most important thing for us when we design our products are that it is durable. It will withhold many years, many uses, wash. And that's why, when we use the products that we've used to create the LastSwab, the rod is very, very sturdy. So it's made with reinforced plastic, and the ends are a TPE. They have a chemical bind. It's a thermoplastic, kind of like a silicone. So we're designing things that are very simple, but they're actually quite innovative in the different elements. The case itself, that's where we could play, because we didn't need an aluminum, case that would withhold so many years. We just needed a case that would withhold the same amount of years that the swab would. So there we could play with it, and we're using ocean-bound plastic for that.
You manufacture your items in Denmark. This is unusual since everything seems to be manufactured anymore in China. How did you decide to do that?
Yeah, it was actually a possibility that we had at a later stage. We wouldn't have been able to build our company if we didn't produce in China to start with. But after we had funded the first round of LastSwabs and it became a really big success, we could invest our money in an automated production facility, because we had designed the swab to actually be able to go into this process, but we just didn't have the funds for it. So after we've sold 1 million swabs, we could actually buy the machinery that didn't need people to take things in and out. It was a robot arm, and that's why we could move the whole production so close to us.
You have designed Last Tissue. What is that?
The first Last Tissue pack is kind of the handkerchief and a tissue pack, like a normal single-use tissue pack that had a baby together. Because what we did was we tried to take the handkerchief but put it into a modern context. I wouldn't normally use a handkerchief and put it in my pocket and use it again and put it in my pocket. I would think that was uncomfortable, where I would always, with my baby, have these tissue packs where I would have 10 tissues. So the idea is that I have 10 tissues in a tissue pack size container that's silicone. Then I can use them throughout the day, the week, and then I wash them all with my regular clothes and put them back in the pack.
What is Last Round?
Last Round is a reusable cotton round which you use for removing makeup or cleaning your face down. So it has the exact same size as the cotton round, but it is reusable. It's made of this material, which was really actually an interesting process in our design phase because we wanted to find the material that really felt like cotton rounds, like very soft and very smooth. And we found this material which is a combination of 30% cotton and then 70% wood fibers. This is all production where the fibers are too short to be in the industry, so you can't make a t-shirt out of these cotton fibers. You can't make anything out of the tree fibers. It's excess. But they do a beautiful, like the combination between these two elements make them so soft when they are in water. But it's the same as the tissue. So you would have multiple rounds, and then you use them throughout the week, and then you can put them all in the washing machine. And we have a container, which is like nice to place and designed.
I have no problem using the last swab because I can wash it and it dries, and then I can reuse it and not constantly have to throw away a cotton swab every day. But there's one item that I don't need anymore and I can't test out, and that's the last pad, a reusable sanitary pad. But yet it seems to me as though people would really object to reusing a pad. They want to throw those away. So how are you convincing people to reuse a sanitary pad?
Well, actually, I've been very, very surprised about like how people are accepting and wanting to change their everyday lifestyle for the better. And we started with a cotton swab, and we've moved tissues, buggers, and we're running closer and closer. And now we've gotten into blood, and like at the end of this haul, I hope toilet paper is going to be on the shelves too in some kind of context. The pad itself is just, and I know we've designed it and everything, but it's so much more comfortable than the single use. And this is what I am experiencing more and more, is that as soon as you do the shift, as soon as you start putting it into some kind of routine where you wash your clothes and regularly, or in this period of time where you have enough to withhold the whole period, then it's really just so more comfortable, such hygienic.
Are you finding that there's more acceptance of these kinds of reusable products in Europe or in countries like yours as opposed to the United States?
We're actually having a lot of success in the U.S., so I don't feel that it's that much of a difference right now. France is also an amazing front runner in sustainability, and Denmark, of course, too, and the Nordic countries. What I'm finding, which is the most surprising thing for me, is that people that are 10 years younger than me, I'm 30, so people that are in their 20s, they are just much more accepting of a different lifestyle. They haven't gotten as accustomed to all these single-use items.
You're based in Europe. I'm based in the United States. We here are trying to get products to be more ecological and sustainable. What about places like Asia and Africa and South America? Are they involved in trying to use more sustainable products?
I see a trend in different areas. Taiwan was a really big country for us in the beginning, actually. I am also going to say that if everybody in the whole world actually used toilet paper, we would not have any more trees left. So I think a lot of these countries are actually more sustainable than maybe some of our more developed countries. But it's really about us showing the way so that you can see that you can have a modern lifestyle, but still not have so many disposables and having this unnecessary amounts of waste, because China, India, they're coming up to wealth now, and people are going to have a more convenient life, but it's just not convenient for the planet.
You mentioned that your facility uses more robots than humans, but how sustainable and ecological is it? Are you using solar power? Are you making sure that the water isn't polluted? Are you making sure that there aren't any toxic chemicals involved?
Yes, everything that you just mentioned, they're based baseline. But what we are is that we're also looking into new innovations. We're looking into how can we actually change small things in the production. For example, we're using water so that you're not using fresh water all the time. One thing is cleaning it, but trying to use it again and again in your own facilities or in the facilities of partners that you have, that is really something where we can make a big difference. We can also make a huge difference in the materials that we choose and in the way that they are transported around. And there, of course, I can't say that everything is absolutely perfect because we're using and working with a lot of different companies in a lot of different countries. We're shifting. Sometimes when we're using a partner that they can't deliver at a sustainability level, energy-wise, if that is water-wise, even in the way that they have connections with the agriculture, then we do have to change partners. And we've done that a couple of times.
You've created a variety of products that traditionally we have bought, used once, thrown away. What kind of statistics are there regarding the single-use items of things like cotton swabs or tissues, pads, versus your product, which is to reuse those same kinds of items?
We just did a life cycle analysis on our swab, which you have. As soon as you've used our swab 37 times, then it zeroed itself in CO2 compared to the 37 single-use swabs that you would have been used. Then now you're using it for free.
That pleases me that I'm not contributing to the carbon emissions.
Exactly.
Are companies that have traditionally made the single-use items adopting your product? Are you afraid they're going to put you out of business, or are you working together with them?
Well, I feel like personally, this has been such an amazing journey, and it's so much fun to run with all these amazing people, and we do want to have a company in 5 years. I don't think that's going to be a problem. If the single-use industries start to pivot and start to make reusable alternatives in a good way and they're actually making a difference, then I would just be so happy that I was part of that inspiration, because I don't have the machines, I don't have the setup, I don't have the company to outrun them yet, to make something so simple but something that worked.
I can attest to the fact that it does work, and it has worked for me for the last couple of years, and I enjoy not throwing cotton swabs every day into the waste bin. So thank you for creating a wonderful product, and I look forward to testing many of your other products. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for using our product and loving it. That's so amazing to hear.
Thank you. I have been speaking with Isabel Aagaard. She is co-founder and designer at LastObject. I'm Nancy Perlman. Thank you very much for joining us, and do tune in again next week.
If you would like free information about these environmental issues, go to www.ecoprojects.org or call 310-559-9160. Environmental Directions with your host, Nancy Perlman, is a community affairs program of the nonprofit organization Educational Communications and this station.